Airbnb. Brian Chesky said, your manager won't survive AI. Coinbase. Brian Armstrong's already fired yours. Amazon. Andy Jassy did it to 14,000 of them. And OpenAI, Sam Altman just admitted it's all a fake. For 10 years, the advice was clear. Climb into management, get further from the keyboard. Become the person who runs the room. 3 CEOs just told you that advice is no longer accurate. The room you ran is the kill zone now. The promotion you worked for is the new layoff list. Chesky said it on the Invest Like the Best podcast. Dan Fortune put it on the headline. Armstrong fired pure managers last week. Jassy fired 14,000 of them last fall. The synchronization is not an accident. Today we're breaking down 3 stories and your survival audit. If your job description says manager and you haven't shipped code in 2 years, Brian Armstrong just put a target on your back. Here's what he tweeted last week. Today, I've made the difficult decision to reduce the size of Coinbase by 14%. That's about 700 employees. Here's where he says why now. First, the market. Okay. Second, AI is changing how we work. Okay. So what does this mean? That means fewer layers, faster decisions. We are flattening our org structure to 5 layers max, below CEO and COO. Layers slow things down and create coordination tasks. No pure managers. Every leader at Coinbase must also be a strong and active individual contributor. Managers should be like player coaches, getting their hands dirty alongside their teams. And the last one, AI native pods. We'll be concentrating around AI native talent who can manage fleets of agents to drive outsized impact. If you're wondering whether you're the one that they will keep, stay with me. At the end of this video, I'll share 3 specific signals you can audit on your role this week. Number 3 is the one that your CFO is already running on you. Armstrong didn't cut because Coinbase is in trouble. Stock barely moved. The books are fine. The memo wasn't a financial document. It was a permission slip. Coinbase just told every other CEO on earth, you can fire your manager layer publicly. Call it AI. The market won't punish you. That's the news. The market just rewarded a company for saying out loud what every other CEO has been wanting to say for years. Pure managers are coordination overhead. Coordination isn't a tax that investors are willing to pay for anymore. That's Coinbase. What changed this week is that Brian Chesky stood up and said it on a podcast. And the second thing he said is the part almost nobody is reporting. CEO of Airbnb just put 2 groups on notice. Your people managers. That's the headline. The second group is the one that should scare you even more because you might be in it without knowing it. The rigid expert. The engineer who stayed on the same stack for 8 years. The staff engineer who said vibe coding was a fad. The tech lead who hasn't opened cursor at all. Chesky didn't say AI replaces you. He said CEOs will use AI as an excuse to replace anyone too expensive to retain. The Airbnb CEO said it on a podcast and every other CEO listens to it. A CEO telling other CEOs, ground is safe, you can do this. The market will reward you. Here's what follows that changes how you read every layoff headline this year. OpenAI CEO just admitted none of this is really about AI. Sam Altman just admitted the layoffs aren't really about AI. The CEO of OpenAI, the man whose technology is the named villain in every layoff press release, just told on the stage in India's AI Impact Summit that companies use his name as a cover. Fortune republished a quotation on last week. Then he hedged. He said, there is also real displacement problem. He gave it a label, AI washing. The data backs him. All of tech layoffs from 2022 through 2026, only 16% are directly attributable to AI. The other 84% are related to cost cuttings, overhiring correction, mergers, macro pressure, same layoffs that always happen. Why does this matter for you specifically? Because AI isn't the cause of these layoffs. AI is the political shield. Firing 500 people because you overhired in 2021 is a management failure. Board asks questions and then press writes a morale story. CEO looks bad. Firing 500 people because the world is shifting to AI is visionary leadership. Now the part you've been waiting for. Open a note on your phone. We're doing this together. 3 audits, 5 minutes. Tonight, pull up your team's chart. Count direct reports per manager at your company. At Coinbase, the new floor is 15-1. At Meta, it's 50-1. If your team is running at 5 or 6-1, you're carrying expensive overhead by 2026 standards. If you're a manager with under 10 reports, your role is on the mat. If you're an IC under a manager with under 10 reports, your manager is on the mat. Now open your most recent job description. Pull up your last 3 performance reviews. Count 2 columns. Column A, language about, shipped work. Output, code, design, deliverables. Column B, language about, meetings, coordination, alignment, stakeholders. If column B outweighs column A, you're not a player coach. You're a pure manager with extra steps. That's the category Chesky just named. Update the JD before your manager does it for you. List every meeting and task you owned in the last, let's say, 14 days. Tag each one as one of the 2 things. Either it produced shipped output or it moved work between people. That is the coordination task test. If the second column outweighs the first one, you're on that light item that your CFO is staring at. By the way, the manager track isn't dead for everyone. It's dead for people who don't ship. The future belongs to one role, the elite individual contributor, the engineer who orchestrates agents, the PM who writes their own Python, and the designer who runs their own production. The CEOs aren't deleting work. They're deleting the people who manage the people doing the work. If you want to stay ahead of these internal corporate moves, you'll need the data I'm dropping every week. Like this video, go ahead and click on that subscribe button. It's the only way to make sure the algorithm keeps you in the loop while your company is trying to take you out of it. As a thank you note for making it through, meet my dog, Caden. He has 0 direct reports, 0 coordination tasks, 0 AI anxiety. The only role in this household that is safe from the next layoff. If you're looking for more ways to defend your role and stay relevant in this market, I've linked a video right at the end that breaks down the next steps you should take. Got promoted to manager last year. Got promoted to player coach this year. Next year's promotion sounds a lot like a former employee.